Ready?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Welcome, everybody. This is Meet My Friends. Today, my guest is Kathi Kulesza. She's going to be my number nine. Welcome, Kathi.
Thank you. Number nine. Awesome. Very exciting.
Thank you. So I met Kathi at National Speakers Association. I was going there for a while, and people will really not talk to me, but she talked to me one day and she invited me to go to Toastmasters. She says, well, I know here you're getting trained, but it's kind of you're sitting down and you're listening to other people. But if you want to practice your skills, you can actually come to Toastmasters where you can be in front of the room and practice. And so I say yes. And I went to Toastmasters. Pro Toastmasters is the club I joined. She became my mentor, and she's been a helper to me. Anytime I need anything, she's there. She's making sure I know what I'm doing or to be a support. Just if I fail at anything, she's the first one that catches me down. So I appreciate Kathy very much, as she is a generous woman and she has much to teach me and much to teach all of us. So I want her to start telling us about herself.
Wow. I forgot that that was the order in which we met each other. So that's kind of cool. And we met at NSA first. So that's really
Yeah.
cool. Yeah. So I just see you, both places. So it just seems like, we're just supposed to both be both places. All right. Well, that's awesome. So I've been watching some of these Meet My Friends, and we're not going to start back when I was a child.
Okay.
That would take too long.
Okay.
Let's just say the last probably 5 years, after many changes in my life, including getting fired from a corporate soul-sucking job, I ended up in this crazy business of being a speaker. And so the last 3 years, I've been a contract trainer, which I'm an independent contractor. I have my own business. I get paid to speak. And I've been primarily on the road, a road warrior, teaching public seminars. Obviously, when things changed in March of 2020, that whole business changed significantly. And so now I'm teaching the same content, but I'm doing it online. Fortunately, I'm a little tech savvy. So I was a very early adopter when I wasn't actually on the road, but whenever we got sent home, and I learned the technology and was teaching classes the second week that we were all stuck at home. And because of that, there's less business. So I've been working more in my own business because it was kind of an idea, right? And when I was on the road, it was really hard to spend any time focusing on myself or my business because you're literally teaching, driving, flying. There's really no downtime. So I've had a lot more downtime to think about my actual business. So the last 5 months, I've been working on rolling out my own programs versus teaching somebody else's.
Are you teaching online now versus in person?
Yep, we are still teaching online. So I teach about 4 or 5 classes a week, or sorry, a month, 4 or 5 classes a month. I'm teaching the same classes that I was teaching. It's just that when you're online, when we were traveling, we were going to each city. We had to go to the people, right? And so we would drive from, like for example, I'd fly to California to LA, and I'd drive around to, 3, 4, or 5 different cities, or suburbs of LA. Now we can, broadcast the same class to the Pacific time zone. So for example, a class that I normally would have 20, 40, 50, 60, maybe 70 people in, I'm teaching that same class in a couple of weeks, over 400 people. So, online, it makes it so we can serve many more people at the same time. So less classes, same class, different venue, but same takeaways and same amount of fun and engagement. So, yeah.
How do you do as far as visibility when you have a lot of people? I figure you probably need a host to manage comments and all that, but how do you interact when it's many people?
Yeah, so they give us, so it depends on the number of people in the classroom. If we have 60 or more, we're automatically given a moderator, and the moderator also teaches that same class. So one reason the moderator there is to help, right? Because everyone's not on video. It's not like Zoom. We're the only two that can be on video. Everyone's microphones are muted. We can bring people on a microphone to ask questions, but it gets kind of clunky. So the main way we communicate with people is through a questions box. So the moderator helps take care of those questions. And I'm pretty rough on the moderators when I'm teaching, because I ask a lot of questions and I pose a lot of ideas, and I ask people to communicate with me in that question box. Because normally in a classroom, you're asking questions and talking to people and they're raising their hands or speaking up. Virtually, when you can't see their faces, the only way you can connect with them is in that written word. So the moderator helps with that. Plus, if something happens, and let's say my computer gives out or my internet crashes or something goes wrong, that moderator can just step in because they know the content and they can teach. One thing I have been playing with, though, which is really cool, technology that I've seen some speakers mess around with, and you've seen it too, is the Mentimeter. So a couple of speakers in some of the events we've been to, they use something called a Mentimeter. And what that is an alternative way to interact with your attendees in the classroom. And I love this because they're going to a website and I can pose questions and they can answer them in real time and they can see each other's answers, which when I'm normally teaching in the question box, me and the moderator are the only two that can see the questions. And that's one complaint we get is, you know, I can't see what other people are saying. So with the Mentimeter, they're participating on a website. They open up another browser, they're participating there. And then on my screen, I'm showing all the answers scrolling. And it's really connected the people in the classroom to one another, because even though they can't see each other, they can see what other people are saying. And when you're teaching a class, it's really good to get that a little bit of camaraderie so they feel like they're not alone in the challenges that they have. So that's been kind of cool. Mentimeter, I ended up upgrading and paying for it. It's like less than $100 for the year, but it's really slick. So if you're a speaker, check it out. It's really cool stuff.
Sounds really good. I was watching, so I went to a TV show yesterday with Judy Morio. So one of the guests has a show on Facebook Live. Mm-hmm. And what amazed me about the screen is that on the back of the screen, part of the background is the comments that people is typing in. And I was wondering how they do that.
Yeah, so I'm aware of that ability, and there's streaming software that lets you do that. One is called, I think, StreamYard. I haven't used it yet, but a friend of mine in the speaking business uses it. And there's different options where, yeah, while you're live, people can actually be putting the comments on and everyone can see them. And they can see them regardless of how they're watching you, because there are softwares out there where you can stream to multiple platforms at the same time. I mean, the technology is so crazy right now. So you could be streaming to Zoom, to Facebook. I don't think you can do LinkedIn at the same time, but YouTube, and you can be going in these multiple platforms and everyone's seeing these comments. It's really cool stuff. The one option for that is called StreamYard. I believe there's probably a little learning involved, which is why I haven't done it yet, but and I'm mostly on GoToWebinar, Zoom, and Facebook, but yeah, there's really cool stuff out there for us to connect with people virtually.
I gotta write it down.
Yeah, check it out.
Don't forget.
On interview number 90, you'll probably be on StreamYard and you'll just be streaming live to all those different platforms at one time.
Yes, hopefully that will be very helpful, because it takes me a long time to upload the videos, especially to YouTube.
Yeah.
Like at 30 minutes or 45 can take up to an hour and a half, and then I kind of need to watch it to make sure it's going or it's there.
Yeah, and you can definitely stream, because even at church, I help out at church. You know, we were doing, we still are streaming all of our masses live, but for a while there was only 10 of us. And so we were streaming our masses first on Facebook, right? So we were doing Facebook Live masses with just a phone, a tripod, and a speaker. And then when we started having the masses, we're allowed to have up to 50 people in our masses, the Catholic churches. The tech guy came in, and so he figured out how to stream through and he's got, you know, computers and software. He's now streaming direct to YouTube and Facebook at the same time, using some software. So it's really cool stuff, because once you do that live stream on YouTube, you're not having to upload the video because it's there. You just rename it and boom, it's already there on your channel. So I think by, you know, these conversations with friends number 19, you should be doing live on YouTube and Facebook for sure.
Okay, I gotta figure it out.
And I can help you with the Zoom live to Facebook, because you know I did that for Pro Toastmasters a couple weeks ago. So
okay, perfect. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
It's been helping me breaking the barriers because now I'm looking into so I didn't really was posting anything on my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Now I'm doing this project. Now I was thinking to create another channel where I can create another topic, like do meditations or do like a different topic on another one. So I've been learning how to, so I didn't know how to put like a postcard at the beginning of the video where you can put a title and then you can do greetings at the end. And there is an app I already had that I didn't know it was used for that. I was making it so complicated with another one that I tried, or these downloads that then try to charge you, and then you cannot download what you created because it has like a banner on the bottom promotion, like, making publicity for themselves. So it's been taking me a long time, but I'm learning.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the best way to learn is just go out and do it, right?
Yes.
I mean, you can either not do anything, right? Which is what some people are doing still right now, just frozen, stuck, right? Or you can start taking action and start learning and start creating, new streams of income, or, a new technique or new knowledge for yourself. And I think I love what you're doing. I can't believe I'm already number 9. Like, you've definitely been really busy, because you literally just asked me to do this like a few days ago, and it's really impressive that you're already on number 9. You're going to learn so much doing this, so it's really cool. I love it.
Yes, I want to do as fast as possible. So I started talking about it on like Monday. Then Wednesday I was ready to start, but Judy told me she wanted to be number 1, and I was kind of waiting for her.
Yeah.
And then I sent her a text. I said, "Are you ready?" She says, because I went to see her, and she said, "Well," I said, I was telling her about the project, and I said, for example, Darren LaCroix number 1, and she says, "Why am I not number 1?" I said, "Well, you can be if you want." She said, "Yeah, I want to be." Then I sent her a text on Wednesday, and she says, "No, I was just kidding. I don't have to be number 1."
Yeah.
Then I started texting everyone else who I thought might be interested, and Jesse was ready to start, Jesse Oakley. So I had him as the number 1 video, and he was very fun. And we were kind of in a hurry because I had another meeting with Aaron Lewin, my number 2, right after him. So his interview only came out 16 minutes. The one I did yesterday was 45 minutes.
Wow.
So that one took me longer. But so I told Jesse that if he wants to come back, and we'll do another one, because his was really funny. So when I uploaded it to YouTube, because I didn't know how to do it, and I put it on for kids only. So you're unable to comment.
Oh. You can change that easily, though.
Yeah, I saw the option, but probably I need to upload another video and change the settings, because I don't know that he will get many views if I leave it as kids only.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can change it, though. I think you can just change that checkbox.
No, and I've been bugging them because I like tag them, and then I erase the post and I tag him again, because I'm trying to make it appear on my timeline at the same time, like with the intro, the Facebook, and then the YouTube. So I've been moving the dates, which I didn't do, a long time ago. So I've been learning a lot throughout the process.
That's awesome. I love it. I love it. Look how far you've come.
Yes, I know.
Right? Yeah.
It's just losing the fear, Kathi. It's losing the fear of doing something new.
Yeah. Yeah. Fear holds us back a lot.
Yes. One thing that inspired me, Adriana Rosales is doing a similar project, but with authors. It's called, the one I told you, 100 Latinas, 100 authors.
Oh, yeah. You mentioned that.
Yeah. So I think she has already like 50 or maybe more, but she hasn't completed the 100 that I know. So when she did that project, I thought on making a book, but then, it's hard for people to write, or if they don't know the concept, they don't necessarily want to be published if they don't believe in the project. And I seen that. So then I had this idea, and I kind of just promoted until someone was ready to say yes. So, I'm planning to do more. Hopefully I'll be by 15 by Sunday. I'll probably be my number 15 by Sunday.
Wow.
Yeah. So, wish me luck. I know that there's a lot of people that will benefit from an interview, and they want to help me. Like, some of them I contact, they say happy to help, tell me more.
Yeah.
But then they're too busy, so.
Right. Yeah, that's a tough thing, is getting on people's schedules, because a lot of people are just working hard trying to get business and keep their businesses running right now.
Yeah, and then also they're a little bit afraid. I think they don't want to associate themselves with something they think might not be beneficial, or they're going to be embarrassed.
Yeah.
So when I get that feeling, I just tell them check the previous interviews and see what
Mm.
you think. You see, how the concept is, and it's you don't have to talk about anything you don't want to, but if you like to promote or anything you like to say, you need to be comfortable that your friends on Facebook or your family is gonna see
Yeah, exactly.
it.
You only have to dress good from the waist up.
Yeah, it's as much as you want to share. If you
Yeah.
want to share anything with us, it's welcome. Anything help us.
So have you noticed the new 5.2 upgrades on Zoom?
And I check those out, but I'm not sure how to get them. I try to look for an update, but it told me I was updated. So the
So
lady who had us
you
trainer,
have 5.2, right?
yes.
So here's one.
Oh, that's really cute.
Yeah, so your viewers might be interested in this.
I
So
like that. It
yeah,
looks like a TV though.
right? Yeah, it looks like a widescreen TV, right? In somebody's living
Yes.
room. Yeah,
How
if
do
you,
you do that?
well, so this is cool. I just watched the video because I knew this existed, but I couldn't figure out how to do it. Here's actually a TV.
Oh, that's nice. I like
And
that.
then here's old school TV.
Yeah.
So you click on your virtual backgrounds,
Yes.
and then there's a second tab there that says video filters.
Oh, I see that.
And
Choose
then
video filter.
yeah. And then if you're in a crowd and you're afraid of, being around other people, you can even add a mask,
Okay.
right?
Was not responding right now, but I'll check it out later.
Yeah,
So,
so add for value add for Zoom 5.2. That just got launched a few days ago, so it's kind of the big news on Zoom. And they put some stuff in there for kids too. So they put these little filters in there for families and kids like that they would love. There's kind of Snapchat-ish. Have you done Snapchat with the funny, you can put like ears and stuff on yourself? They've got a couple things like that too. It's kind of cool.
oh, okay. Those probably be good like for Christmas time or, that time when kids watch more.
Yeah.
I don't know if kids will watch these videos, but
Well, no, or even if the kids that use Zoom. So like it's amazing, this technology, because my 8-year-old niece sent me a Zoom invitation this morning via text. And
oh,
so,
wow.
okay, I'll be on in a few minutes. And my mom, the grandma, reads a book to her grandkids a couple times a week. So they get on a Zoom call, the two 8-year-olds or maybe 8 and 9-year-old with grandma, and they read a book. And so when they were done reading the book, one of my nieces sends me a text, invites me to the Zoom. So I think they have some of those filters are for the kids that are using Zoom because they're using it for education, right? They're using it for classes. So yeah, it's kind of cool how all the different technologies are adapting to the different people that are using them.
Well, but that's such a good idea also for like when someone that is not present, they can share it.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
That's really good. That's
Yeah,
really good. Yeah, I'm just in love with technology and the way things are unfolding
yeah,
because every person has a different feel and you never know who needs your help or who you can associate with for a project or who will think on you to invite you to anything that they know that they're hiring.
yeah,
So it's just
exactly.
to create those connections and opportunities.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
What else can you teach us?
Well, my big focus right now, which has been a long time coming, is I was, for a while there, I was in the wellness industry, and then I was working on my speaking business. And then while I was going out and teaching these seminars, I reconnected to my kind of more business corporate background. So the idea that I'm working on right now, and I'm actually working on launching a new program probably in the next 30 days, is focused on women, right, leaders. So women who are the most likely type of person that would benefit from it are women that are in kind of middle to upper management, in their kind of like late 30s to late 40s. They're in this position where they're feeling kind of stuck in their career, like they're feeling like they've gained a lot, they've got a lot of ambition, they've had a lot of success, but they just feel like they're just kind of hitting the ceiling or hitting a door and it's not being open for them, and they realize there may be some things that they need to work on, right? So they're accepting the fact that it's up to them to maybe work on themselves to get themselves out of this stuck place. It could be women that are in a change right now. They're, because of what's going on in the, in the economy, they are in a career change, and they don't want to go back to where they were because they were feeling stuck, and they might even feel a little freed right now, but they don't want to go back into, you know, the type of job or position that they just feel like, okay, I just ended up back where I started, and you know, I was feeling free, and now here I am again. So I'll read a little bit so I don't you know, don't miss any points. But the idea is that it will be so one of my one of the things I've been thinking about, and it's really from my life experience of uh, you know, working on myself and really getting to know myself, is that I spent a lot of years and a lot of time feeling like I didn't deserve the jobs I was in, or, you know, I felt like maybe I was taking that job from somebody else, like, or I didn't really earn it, right? And it's interesting because I was thinking, and this kind of came up in another conversation I was having with someone. You know, when I was, I remember my dad, when I, you know, so I'm 58 years old, right? So, you know, I was a firstborn child, you know, my mom, you know, got a job, met a man, you know, fell in love, got married, started having kids. So, and she had not gone to college, right? So that's what you did back then. And so she told me and my sister, who's a year younger than me, you're going to go to college and have a career, and you're going to have options, right? Unlike what she felt like she had. You know, my mom, I mean, eventually she
Yes.
went to college and never stopped, and she's like the smartest one in the room now. But that was, you know, how she was brought up, and that's what women did back then. And I remember my dad, when more women and more minorities started getting higher up in positions in organizations, my dad used to make comments about how there was less opportunity for white men,
Mhm.
you know. And I mean, yeah, it doesn't sound good, but that's just his perspective, right? And I took that, I think, you know, as I thought back on it, it's like, wow, I actually think I took that and internalized it as if I was taking the job from somebody else, right? And that I didn't deserve to have the jobs I was had because I was taking a job from someone else because I was a woman, right?
No, but you weren't.
Well,
Like,
I know,
you are so talented.
but that's a mentality, right? It's, you don't realize you have these beliefs,
Yes.
right? And women often have these beliefs as if we have to apologize for being in the positions we're in. You know, we don't feel deserving. And so we spend too much time not feeling like we deserve the job we're in. And then as a result, we end up apologizing and almost giving disclaimers every time we want to speak up, right? Until we gain more confidence and we learn how to speak up in a way that, you know, people aren't judging us, or at least we're not judging ourselves, really, is what happens, right? So, you know, through all those years, I mean, there was that day where I finally decided, you know what, I am what I am. I worked my butt off to get to where I am. And, you know, I'm going to speak up, and I'm going to, you know, I'm going to share my ideas, and I'm not going to apologize because I worked my butt off to get to where I am. But it took me probably longer than it should have to get to that point. So my idea and the concept is that I want to help women who are in a position where they deserve to be in the jobs they're in, but they're not realizing it, right? They're holding themselves back because they feel a little guilty, or they feel like a little unworthy or undeserving, even though they worked their butts off to get to where they are. And the idea is to get them to a point where they stop apologizing for being a leader, and they start just leading, and they lead without apology, and they learn how to be a more assertive communicator. You know that joke, what's the difference between assertive and aggressive? Your gender.
Oh, wow.
Right? Because people and women, we do it to each other too. And this is something that I'm kind of on a mission to help women realize. We hold each other back because we judge one another. We're actually harder on each other than sometimes men are on us. But, you know, women, assertive women who speak up make people uncomfortable, right? They make men and women uncomfortable. And just because people are uncomfortable with us being assertive doesn't mean we should be. It's unconscious bias that people have. They don't even realize they have it, that we're used to women taking a back seat to men in leadership roles, right? Or in business. And it's time for us to get used to women being in a leadership role. Women have worked their butts off. They are knowledgeable. They have a lot to contribute, and they actually bring new, fresh ideas to leadership. So the idea is to help women stop apologizing for their seat at the table, for becoming more confident in being an assertive communicator, and to go get what they deserve to have in life, to start going after what they want in their life and in their career. So it's going to be probably a 4-week program is what I'm working on right now. 4-week program. It'll be a group coaching program to make it something that is affordable for women to get into, without feeling like they're breaking the bank. So there'll be 10 or 12 women in the program. It'll be 4 weeks. There'll be a educational type session, live session once a week with homework. And then we'll talk about it. There'll be a private Facebook group that they'll be able to share in. And then the next week we'll have another, probably live Zoom call with the women in the program, more homework, more to-dos so they can go take action and start really getting themselves positioned for the job they're currently in to move forward, or for that next opportunity that they're working on. So they stop apologizing, they feel confident in being an assertive communicator, and give them, even different ways to say things, right? Because a lot of times we just do it, just it's like natural. My nieces, it's funny, they're always saying, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I'm like, stop saying you're sorry. Yes, apologizing is a very valuable thing to do, but we shouldn't apologize just for being present, right? Let's apologize when we screw something up, when we make a mistake, when we hurt somebody's feelings, but let's not apologize for being at a table that we worked our butt off to be sitting at, right? And sometimes as women, we do that, we discount ourselves. So that's what I'm working on right now. I'm really excited about it. It'll probably be launched, let's see, well, this is August. Let's say it'll be launched within 3 weeks. I'll be inviting people to participate in the program. But, and then, from that, I'm also working on, I have this coaching background, but I haven't been really active in because I was so busy on the road. So I'm relaunching my coaching business and focusing more on this, these women leaders, late 30s to late 40s that are in this sweet spot. And one of the reasons why I want to focus on these women is I've done a lot of research on successful women leaders. And if you Google successful women leaders and you look at the demographics of them, the youngest is usually like late 40s. And then there's a couple women in their early 60s. Most of the most successful women in our country right now, and even I would say probably the world, are in their 50s.
Wow.
So preparing yourself for the 50s, that decade of your life, to really be at the top of the pinnacle of your career. Now's the time to do it at like your late 30s to mid 40s. Like, get ready to go claim your position in leadership in your 50s. And I challenge everyone to go Google the most successful women, and you will find that most of them are in their 50s. So it's just a crucial time for women in their late 30s to like mid 40s to prepare to take that seat at the table.
That sounds really good. Where people can find that about? Are you an advertiser on your pages?
Yeah, so let me see if I can share. Oh, I have a couple quotes. Can I share a couple quotes?
Please.
All right, yeah. Let me share my screen here. There's a new way to share our screens too that I'm going to teach you later. I was trying to play with it around today, where you can put your face in the screen, but it doesn't really look that great when you have blonde hair like me. So, all right. So in theory, can you see a quote on the screen on the share? Okay, great. All right. So this is Sheryl Sandberg. She's a good example of a woman, a very successful woman, the #2 person at Facebook, right? She is one of the reasons why, whether you like it or not, Facebook is successful because of what she brought to Facebook. So she brought this idea of charging for advertising. When she first joined Facebook, they were losing money. And she made it a for-profit company, which is, why. And so love Facebook or not, it wouldn't be around if it wasn't for Sheryl Sandberg, because she helped them change the face of Facebook. We cannot change what we are not aware of. And once we are aware, we cannot help but change. So, I'm hoping that when I share my story and share this idea, that women start to realize this is a blind spot for them and that they can have everything they want. It's just about them shifting their mindset and really taking that seat at the table. And that's what kind of I get from this quote. So that's Sheryl Sandberg, #2 at Facebook. Let's see here. This is Jen Sincero. She wrote 2 books. She wrote, "You're a badass and you're a badass at making money." If you don't like curse words, you should definitely not read this book. The entire book. And I actually took this from the audiobook, "You're a Badass at Making Money." I couldn't find actually the quote anywhere on Google, so I actually I listened to it so many times. And she says, "Success is not about where you're at. It's about who you decide you're going to be." So and she makes a lot of suggestions. And interesting in her book about money is that she talks about how money also is a mindset. And one thing, like an example, this is my personal example from reading the book. If you have this belief that money is a source of all evil, money is not going to come hang out with you because you think it's evil, right? So she helps you kind of think through your mindset around money. We deserve to get paid what we're worth. We deserve, and women, we know we're not paid as much as men in general. One of the things we don't do is ask for the money, right? So as women, we've got to work on our mindsets around money. So I love this quote because she talks about we have to decide, right, where we want to be, and then we're going to go and get that. So Jen Sincero, and I'm going to explain why I'm sharing these quotes in a second, because I'm going to give quotes to people if they want them. One more. Oops, I had another quote. Hold on. One more quote. Joyce Meyer. "You cannot have a positive life and a negative mind. You cannot have a positive life and a negative mind." All right. So I have a bunch of quotes that I share with leaders, and it's actually, if you can see my video too, they're not laminated if you follow this link, but you will be able to download these quotes. It's 2 pages. Their quotes are directed for leaders and managers, people in business that just want inspiration to kind of refocus. So they're by person. I've got leadership quotes. I've got mindset quotes, which that's the most of the quotes, coaching quotes, and invest in yourself quotes. So there's probably about 80 of them. So if you want to hear more about my programs coming up and you'd love some quotes, you just go to this link. You can hold your phone in front of this QR code with the camera open. I know this definitely works on iPhones. And if you hold your camera over that image, it should pop up a link into your, that goes to your Safari. You click on that and just put your email address in there. It'll send you the quotes. And then once I have more information on the program, I'll send it to you. And whether it's for you or somebody you can let them know about this program for women to become unapologetic leaders. That's how and there's my email address and my website. So that's how you get a hold of me.
Perfect.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna stop sharing. There we go.
It's good. I love the concept. And I love your lighting. I cannot look like you. I'm like super pale and you're like pinkish. So I'm trying like to turn this off, but then I think I'm going dark. Well, a little better.
Well,
I
you
think
can
it's actually a little better.
in this reflection here, I did buy a light kit. So, yeah, so on Amazon, let me see if I can find the link. I'll see if I can find the link and put it in here. Okay. I bought a light kit, $100 with a green screen and lights. And they're not the expensive lights like the Darren LaCroix style lights, he's at the next level above me. But they are, it's 2 lights, lamps with umbrellas, and you can face them towards you or you can face them away from you. And it just helps because I have a really bright window in my office. So I keep the blinds almost closed, but that light is super bright because it's the sunlight. So I put another light on my other side and it kind of balances it out.
So it balances out? So if I turn this one like backwards, probably it'll be better?
Maybe, yeah. So wherever you're, like, look at where your light's coming from. And during the day, you got to change it throughout the day.
Yeah, well, this one is coming from the window, but it's not so bright because I closed it a little bit.
Yeah, so already you can see a little bit of, well, I did for a second there. Maybe bring
I think it still look kind of dark. Well, yeah. Still didn't want it to look that pale. And I did put makeup on. It's just, the lighting. Because I moved to the studio to connect. Remember the Ethernet cable you gave me?
Yeah.
To make sure I don't lose the connection.
Yeah, good. Yeah, that hardwiring is really important. Yes. I'm going to look and see if I can find this light kit really quick. And I'll put it in the chat, I guess. It was $100 for the green screen and the lights. A few of my friends have definitely bought more of these light kits, but here it is. Let's see. It's still $99.99. So I will stick it in the chat here. Is there chats? Chat. I'll stick it in there. And you can click on that and check it out. So it's 2 lights. It bounces out the lights. And I'm not using a green screen right now. This is my, I just, I cleaned up I got a little, thick patch there. I got to put some paint on, but I just fixed up my background to have a real background. But I do have the green screen out to the side too. So
that one is good. Yeah, I saved the link already, so I'll check it out later. I just didn't want it to lose it.
Yeah. There you go. What else can I help you?
That's really good. You're so savvy and like up to the technology, always trying new things. And that is a good way to not fall behind on anything, because the way the world is right now is uncertain. You never know how it's going to change, but we need to keep on creating. And I just think, like, if you don't do anything, you get depressed. At least I do. That's why I'm doing this, because I don't want to be depressed and crying, and I'd rather be doing something.
I know you're in action. And then the cool thing is, you're going to have all different types of guests, but, you're surrounding yourself with people that, are taking action. So and then you're sharing these people with your friends, right? So imagine what you can create for people by getting, they're learning ideas. And, I'm not going to be for everyone, right?
Yes.
There's going to be people that are like, whatever, but there'll be some people that listen to this video and they might go buy a light kit, or, they might try some new technology, or they might decide, what, I'm tired of apologizing. I'm tired of not getting my seat at the table, whatever it is. And you surround yourself with people that are a little bit ahead of you, right? So you can follow them and they can teach you, and then you help other people that are a little bit behind you, right? So that we're always just kind of pulling people with us, and then we're grabbing somebody's coattails and following them along. So we're learning and paying it forward all at the same time, which is so important to do right now. So
it is. Well, I think when someone is attracted to your messages because it's what they need at the moment, or that's what they've been looking for. But it's also said in the way that they can understand it and internalize it, because a lot of times you hear many things, but if it doesn't click on you, it's kind of like you don't get it, regardless of what you hear.
Yeah. Exactly.
So I believe in right time. I believe in sharing a message, but I also believe that there is a greater power that is taking care of everything, and there is a reason why we do things, and that if we think on someone else being benefit, I think the project flows in a way that you don't necessarily comprehend, but you're amazed, how it's going. So I think that's what is happening with our projects, because we're thinking on benefiting someone else.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I think even with all the craziness in the world right now, all of us should be asking, what, all right, what, instead of thinking this is happening to me, think, okay, it's happening for me. And what am I going to take away from this life experience right now? What am I going to do with this opportunity, right? To make a change in my life, or to make a shift, or a pivot, whatever you want to call it. We're each given some gift from what's going on. And I've heard so many amazing stories from people about time with family. I had a friend of mine, she told me she lost her job in May. She said she was freed. She felt freed from that job, right? So,
Yes.
this time, if we're willing to look at it the right way, and I realize people are suffering, but still look for the gift and look for the not the silver lining, but the gifts that come with this change. Even if it's, maybe there is less money and it's harder to pay the bills, but you've got more time with your kids, or you've connected with people like this, right, on Zoom that you haven't talked to in years, because you've got more time, and you're reaching out to people. Just look for some gifts and some ways to be, have gratitude for what's going on in your life. And that's all we can do, right?
Yeah, I think the connections are still forming, Kathi. Like I can think of me going to trainings to Toastmasters and see like 300 people over there. Mm-hmm. But I never really talked to any of them. Now I see them making these meetings. And now I know, well, I saw that guy on that one, maybe, I can invite him. Mm-hmm. And so it's a person that I'm talking through Zoom that I didn't even talk in person, or maybe someone is a friend on Facebook, but I never talk like this. It's not like right next to each other, but it's still you're having that connection with that specific person and giving you full attention.
Yeah.
So I think it's valuable, you know, we're still able to create the connections and to work for a common purpose.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. I love what you're doing here.
Thank you so
It could
much.
be guest 101 when you're like starting over again.
Okay, perfect.
The
Yeah,
remake.
the way I'm going, I think it's gonna happen pretty quick.
All right, good. So like in a couple weeks, I'll be 101.
No, not that fast.
I know, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, thank you so much, Kathy.
Oh,
I
yeah,
appreciate
thanks,
you.
Maria. This is a
You're
great
welcome to
idea.
come back anytime.
All right, cool. Love it. All right.
Thank
Well, I see you tonight at Toastmasters.
Yes, welcome back. It's just last night I was doing guy, and then my mom called me, and it's already like 8 o'clock, and I feel
Yeah.
bad jumping in when it's already so late.
Yeah. All right, I'll see you in a few hours then.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.